What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. We're going to talk about the Bonafide PWR or Power 129, what I think might be the best value fishing kayak ever. Fish on!
That's a toad, brother. Golly!
Alright, so look, it's obvious that I'm pretty biased towards the Bonafide brand because I've been there since before the brand was born, okay? I have been a fan, I've been a contributor. Again, I feel like Bonafide is one of my children almost, and so just want to get that out of the way up front. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on the Bonafide website, and we are going to walk through the features of this boat together, because I think it might be, if not the best ever fishing kayak in initial quality, overall value, and all of that good stuff rolled into one. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off. I'm going to walk you through the specs of the boat, the price of the boat, all that good stuff, and then I'm going to share some of my thoughts on it as I do a full walkthrough virtually, because obviously we don't have the first boat in hand yet. But I'm so excited about this boat because I've known about it, I knew about it, I was involved in some of the conference calls with Hans to just kind of do a walkthrough of the boat. Didn't really have any design contributions to this boat like I have with Hans in the past, but he absolutely knocked this thing out of the park. And so I'm going to start off by running through the specs with you. This boat is the 129, which stands for 12 foot 9 inches long. It is 35 inches wide. It's a 16-inch depth on the hull. That's basically if it was sitting on a hard ground and you put a rod across there and you measured it, that's the total depth of the boat. The max capacity is 500 pounds. And remember that that's a 500-pound capacity after, I have made a big deal about weight capacity. And the folks at Big Adventure jumped on board and really addressed that. The fitted hull weight is 78 pounds. And then the fully rigged hull weight, after they put the seats and tracks and hatches and all that stuff, comes in at 102 pounds. And I know that Bonafide has been very committed to being, super accurate on those numbers. A couple of key things I want to point out is that by getting rid of the side track pads on the SS127, it gave them some additional deck space to where they could incorporate some more tracks. And this boat is going to come from the factory with 128 inches of total track for mounting. It's going to come with two of the power ports, so that you can set the boat up for however you want to. The two power link ports that Big Adventures developed for both native and Bonafide. And so those are quick access for installing, sonar units, running wiring for powers, running transducer wires, and they're ideally positioned for both of those things. And so makes for easy access for wiring motors and pretty much anything, lights, anything accessory-wise that you want to mount on the boat. So I'm going to go to the overhead view of the boat so that I can kind of walk you through it from, my understanding of why each of these features was done. And then at the end, I'll share my overall thoughts on it. And then I'll open up the floor for you guys to comment, because I do want to have a open conversation about this boat and about my declaration that I think it might be the best value in fishing kayak. For a couple of years, I've said that the Bonafide RS117 is the best value in overall fishing kayak, dollar for dollar. But I think if you consider the price point of this boat, what you get for it, this thing might actually take the title. And when I say value, I don't mean cheap. This is by far definitely not a cheap boat at $1,899, so a $1,900 boat. It's not cheap, but when you think of all the stuff that's incorporated into it and the performance that you're going to get, it's definitely a good value for what you're getting. So let's start off. Right up front on the bow of the boat, it's going to be ready for a bow mount motor. And again, you're going to have that power link set up right there. A redesigned hatch is going to also make it easier for when that bow mount stows, that you can integrate that bow mount storage or stowage into the design of the boat. Integrated rod tip protectors made into the hull with the little tubes built in so you can protect your rod tips, and you have at least 2 rods of horizontal storage. Then you've got 2 flush mounts behind the seat, and then of course with your Blackpack Pro, you've got a ton of storage. You can still put the rods between your legs, like you've always been able to do on the SS boat. Now, there's a 22 by 30 inch deck platform, and that is not substantially bigger than the SS127, but it is bigger than the SS127. But I also like how the back of the cockpit's not tapered the way that the SS127 was, so you can get your feet a little wider. So not only is it a little bit wider, but you're going to be able to get your feet a little bit wider, so you're going to get more perceived stability. If you haven't watched my video on stability, we'll link that up in the description box and go watch that, and that way I don't have to jump into a whole secondary stability versus initial stability conversation, and you'll know more about what I'm talking about in this video if you don't already. Right behind the cockpit, one of the things that I'm excited about is that I really love the seat on the SS series from Bonafide. It's the highest seat on the market, in my opinion, for the size of the boat. It gives you great ability to sit and stand. To a certain extent, I think it was overcomplicated when it comes to how the back leg folds down and extends. And so this seat is simplified, it's widened, and it's designed to be more comfortable. If there was a rub on the SS127, it's that when those seat straps loosened up and you start to get that scoop in the seat, especially if you're a bigger angler, the sides of the seat start to kind of squeeze you in. And this seat is a little bit more oversized, bigger, and should be more comfortable, especially for us bigger anglers out there. You're still going to have the underseat storage. A giant tank well, though, is sitting right behind the seat. Actually, before I go that far, let me talk about this. I did talk about the fact that the track pads on the sides are no longer there like they are on the SS127. So there's room for the tracks there for the side kick, for mounts, for forward-facing sonar, setups, things like that. And so that having those tracks right there on the side is one of those things that most people used to do by taking the traction pad and either cutting it or just removing it and putting a track on the side of the SS127. So it now comes rigged and ready with those extra tracks on the side of the boat. Oversized tank well that's going to allow you to put even the biggest black pack. You'll also be able to put a big black pack and a smaller black pack if you want to set one of those black packs up as like a power bank or a power box. And then you've got an integrated rudder and an installed rudder, meaning it's there. So when you look at the price jump from the SS127 to this boat, I think the rudder's $170, and this boat is only $199 more, $170 more. You're going to get all of these other features, but you also get the value of already having the rudder installed on the boat. And so from a value standpoint, I think this boat is right there with anything on the market. And like I said, maybe even better when you consider all of the stuff that's integrated into the design. Again, a complete redesign from the SS127. I think the only thing that's reused are the handles, the dry pod, and that's about it. The rest of the stuff has been completely redesigned to allow this boat to be something new. I think it's going to be super stable, but one of the things that I'm excited about is it's in the name, PWR. So it was designed to be powered. So it's going to have plenty of volume if you decide to put a bow mount on there. Plenty of volume if you go with a stern mount. And what I like about it is the seat's a little further forward. What that's going to do is give you more volume after the seat so that when you put that power on the back and you put that battery system back there, if that boat doesn't want to run like a bass boat that hasn't quite broken over yet, kayak holes are displacement holes first, and then, so that they paddle well, because I love to paddle and I still want to be able to paddle this boat. But I think that this boat is going to plane better than most of the displacement holes out there. Not a true planing hole, so it's not going to, sit flat and it's not going to break over and run like a bass boat. But I think the volume after the seat is going to allow this boat to truly trim out and have less resistance, more efficiency. You're going to get more speed, but you're also going to get better range because the boat's got less drag, less wetted surface, less coefficient of friction, which is, again, is a fancy word for drag. It's going to perform better. So not only are you going to get a little more speed, you're also going to get better performance out of your motors and better performance out of your battery. So I'm excited about that. The fact that this boat comes with the rudder system means you can also just drop the motor on there, disconnect the rudder cables, connect them to the motor, or you could just run the motor in a fixed position and use the rudder to steer, provided that it's got enough authority to overcome that. And again, I haven't had a chance to test that in real world conditions yet. So that's kind of the overview of this boat. I'm excited about the fact that there's an upgraded seat, that it's bow mount and stern mount ready. Native kind of blew the doors off of it at ICAST with the Titan X, and a lot of people maybe one of the criticisms that's out there anytime you see something new from Bonafide is people say, oh, ever since Native acquired them, their quality control has gone downhill. And I want to address that because Native didn't acquire Bonafide. Okay, the parent company is called Big Adventures. Big Adventures owns Native, they own Liquid Logic, and they now own Bonafide. And I think that anytime you move an entire company into a new company, right out of the gate, you're going to have some initial problems until you get the kinks worked out. And, there's varying opinions on how that all could have been avoided. But the fact is, I think Big Adventures responded very well when Bonafide had a few issues early on. And so when you see those comments, I think those are lingering comments from that initial move. But that's 3, 4, 5 years in the rearview mirror now. And I think that Bonafide not only doesn't have those issues, but might be one of, if not the best in the game when it comes to quality control. So I just wanted to get that out there. Now, last but not least, I really want to engage with you guys, and I've done this in a couple of previous videos, and so I'm going to do a giveaway of a Bonafide the sideline bags. Okay, I'm going to do a one big bag and 2 of the small bags that go in the seat back for everybody that comments on this video and use the word Bonafide in some way, shape, form, or fashion in your comment. I am going to reply to those comments with a short, and if I reply to you with a short, you're going to get a $50 Fish USA gift card, and then I'm going to pick a winner from everybody that comments for 3 of the Bonafide sideline bags, 1 of the big backpacks and 2 of the seat backpacks. I'm really digging those bags, and I think you guys will love them. And I want to keep the giveaway train going because you guys have been so good and so amazing with the responses to my videos that there's a chance that when you comment and you engage, you've got a chance to win. So comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the boat. I'll respond to as many as I can. I'll respond to some of them with shorts with more thorough explanations of maybe things that I forgot to talk about in this boat. And I'll put a link in the description box to the Bonafide website so you can go check out the specs and the information that's available on the website about the Power 129. And I will see you knuckleheads in the next video.